I'm sure I've been, oh wait, it just came on. That was weird. Okay, huh, I don't know why here. Check, check. Shut up. But if I plant them in spring, they'll survive next year. So it's like I can put on the box. Why do you have this?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Buddhist Temple of Toledo. Please have a seat and turn to page 2 in your liturgy book. Gata of Atonement. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Nikaya 3 Refuges. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana Refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers. For the lineage of teachers before them, I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, may their vows be completely realized, and may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred, being close to some and distant from others. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please turn in your spiral-bound readings book to page 36 and we'll recite Days Like Lightning, page 36. Days like lightning. The days and months go by like lightning. We should value the time. We pass from life to death in the time it takes to breathe in and breathe out. It's hard to guarantee even a morning and an evening. Whether walking or standing, sitting or lying down, do not waste even a minute. Become ever braver and bolder. Be like our original teacher, Shakyamuni, who kept on progressing energetically. When the mind ground is equanimous and awake, you will have profound certainty in the intent of the Buddhas and ancestral teachers. You must accomplish this correctly. Mind is the natural Buddha. Why bother seeking elsewhere? Put down your myriad concerns and wake up. At the end of the road, it's like an iron wall. False thoughts are all extinguished, and extinguishing is wiped away. Body and mind resting in the void. In the stillness, a light reaches everywhere with brilliance. The original face, who is it? As soon as it is mentioned, the arrow sinks in stone. When the mass of doubt is shattered amid all the particulars, one thing covers the blue sky. Do not talk with people without wisdom. Do not become overjoyed. Visit Zen teachers. Show them how your mind works and ask for their teaching. After that, you can be called one who continues the tradition of the ancestral teachers. Our family style is not remote. When tired, we stretch out our legs and sleep. When hungry, we let our mouths eat. In the human realm, what school is this? Blows and shouts fall like raindrops. Please stand now for the Heart Sutra found on page 4 of your staple liturgy book, and we will, following that, immediately go to the Harmony of Relative and Absolute on the next page. And following the Heart Sutra, we will not do the Harmony of Relative and Absolute. We will, in fact, go to page 6 and do the Enmei Juku Kanan Kyo. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva practicing deep prajna paramita clearly saw that all five skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness. Emptiness, no other than form. Form is exactly emptiness. Emptiness, exactly form. Sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness are also like this. Shariputra, all things are essentially empty, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on to no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation path, no wisdom and no attainment, since there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva lives by prajna paramita with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, and therefore no fear, far beyond elusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future live by prajna paramita, attaining anuttara samyak sambodhi. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great sacred mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra, which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, not mere formality. Therefore set forth the prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Parasam, Gate, Bodhisvaha, Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Parasam, Gate, Bodhisvaha, Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Parasam, Gate, Bodhisvaha. Enmei Juku Kangyo. Kansean Namu Butsuyo Butsu En Yo Butsu En kanzeyan, no nen kanzeyan, nen nen jushin ki, nen nen furishin, kanzeyan, namu butsuyo, butsuin yo, butsuin, popo soen jo, rakuga jo, chonen kanzeyan, onen kanzeyan, nen nen jushin ki, nen nen furishin, kanzeyan, namu butsuyo, butsuin yo, butsuin, popo soen jo, rakuga jo, chonen kanzeyan, bonen kanzeyan, nen nen jushin ki, nen nen furishin, absorbing world sounds awakens the Buddha. Right here, this Buddha, the source of compassion. This Buddha receives only compassion. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion. Thus the pure heart always rejoices. In the light, recall this. In the dark, recall this. Moment after moment, the true heart arises. Time after time, there is nothing but this. Absorbing world sounds awakens a Buddha. Right here, this Buddha, the source of compassion. This Buddha receives only compassion. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion. Thus the pure heart always rejoices. In the light, recall this. In the dark, recall this. Moment after moment, the true heart arises. Time after time, there is nothing but this. Absorbing world sounds awakens a Buddha. Right here, this Buddha, the source of compassion. This Buddha receives only compassion. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion. Thus the pure heart always rejoices. In the light, recall this. In the dark, recall this. Moment after moment, the true heart arises. Time after time, there is nothing but this. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind, all that is, and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the 6 worlds, and dedicated in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to Soko, Zenmyo and their family, Soke, Lorelei, Bob Brown, Greg. May their ills be healed. And Julie Roth, William McGinnis, and Janet Mendez at the time of their death. We also dedicate these merits to those whose names we hold in the silence of our hearts, as well as those whose names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space. beyond wisdom. Mahaprajna Paramita. Children and Dharma school teachers, please join at the back of the Zendo for Dharma school. Everyone else, please prepare yourselves in. Please stand for walking meditation. At the sound of the clappers, the first and third rows will turn to the right. The second and back rows will turn to the left. At the next sound of the clappers, we'll begin walking at a slow pace. And at the next sound of the clappers, we'll begin to walk at a regular pace. We'll now recite the Song of Covenant found on page 8. We, the Daishin Kokuji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated for this morning's talk. Sit comfortably and face towards our teacher. In a moment, we'll do the Gata on Opening the Sutra, also found on page 8 of your liturgy book. Gata on Opening the Sutra.
Good morning, everybody. It's so wonderful to see you and to be in your presence, to practice together today. Please make sure you're sitting comfortably and in a way that we can see each other. I'd like to pull a thread from the reading that was selected today. There's this line, it caught my ear, perhaps it caught yours. Old Tego Bowu said this: "Do not talk with people without wisdom." That's quite a thing. You know, you can see that a couple of ways, right? I'm curious which way leapt to your mind. One way is to say, don't talk to people that don't have wisdom. because, you know, people. But the other way you could have heard this is, do not speak unwisely with people. Do not talk with people without wisdom. I think both. I think both. Which came to your mind? It's a tricky business, being a Homo sapien and having to navigate other Homo sapiens, is it not? It's a confusing thing. You wouldn't think. I mean, why is that such a difficult subject? As far as we can tell, the trees have no problem with each other, you know, more or less. Of course, they compete for sunlight and so on, but they figure it out. Clouds seem to do just fine. Somehow the stream finds the river, finds the ocean. Cats do fine. People? Whew. Sometimes. The Buddha said centuries ago in a collection called the Dhammapada, how joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. Again, that word, that wisdom. How joyful to look upon the awakened, and how joyful to keep company with the wise. How long is the road to the one who travels with a fool for company? I feel that one. But whoever follows those who follow the way discovers their family, and they are filled with joy. Discovering your family, isn't that kind of a given? Maybe. Follow then, the Buddha said, follow then the shining ones, the wise, the awakened, the loving, for they know how to work and how to forbear. Follow them as the moon follows the path of the stars. Yesterday, some of us gathered for a Shoken workshop. You might see some with gray robes here today. These are folks who have taken on additional precepts and a covenant of student-teacher relationship in a deep way. And one of the things that really stood out to both Sensei and myself was just the joy at seeing the practitioners gathered. Particularly in a world that is increasingly filled with churn and drama and troubles and distress. Simply to gather in a place where the vibration level is like compassionate and kind and wise to a degree, is itself a great medicine and a great healing. Is it not? Because you can feel it. You know, you've been in a place where you walk into a place and the vibe is not cool, and you can tell. I encourage you, please trust your gut. When your gut tells you a place isn't right for you, trust that. Go on ahead and leave. You know? Pay attention to what your body is telling you when you enter a space or when you're in the presence of a person or people. Listen to your intuitions about things. Your animal knows what to do, your animal self. Make good friends with that part. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. Truly it is. That's one of the amazing blessings about what we all have co-created here together in Toledo. Right? Who knew? One of the most thriving Buddhist temples in the country is actually right here. And I think part of that is because of the vibration of the folks. It's a big part of it, maybe the main part. To look upon the awakened. You know, in many ways, Zen teachers can be kind of judged by their ability to give a good talk, you know, perhaps the ability to look official at the needed moments. But these things are quite secondary. In fact, some of the best Zen teachers are horrible speakers. I can attest. It's just not really, it's not the thing. But somehow the presence of a person who is deeply involved in awakening, just being in the presence and being seen by and seeing them itself does most of the work. And it's not because there's something special. They're not. They are simply you who's noticed. They're just another aspect of yourself. And when yourself can come into contact with that other version of yourself, then the wise bits of yourself begin to trust themselves and wake up. And the words are kind of like extra. They're helpful unless they're not. But the main thing is that feeling and that presence. And it's not just the teachers, believe me, it's the Sangha. The Sangha, the community itself, is the Buddha arising. The Sangha is the Buddha. Thich Nhat Hanh, who's recently passed away, very famously said, "I think that the Buddha of the 21st century shall be a Sangha." I think this is wise words. I think the day of the rock star spiritual teacher cannot end soon enough. Because let's face it, not everybody's destined or should be a rock star or whatever that is. It's not important. Yes, some people have qualities that are useful in ways and not in others, but this is not the main point. The main point is you awakening to your own true self and then having the gusto to live that. That's the Buddha arising in the world. It's not this metal thing behind me. It's certainly not the robed ones here. It's you. Realizing that takes a little bit of doing. A hell of a lot of doing. But it can be done. But interestingly enough, it's not a matter of trying to add extra components to a faulty system. This is the wrong mindset. Rather, it's a matter of eliminating bullshit, cutting off the conditioning that does not serve you, that does not express your truth, and being willing to be fresh and new and not rely on that conditioning of what parents or clergy or teachers or friends told you who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to live, what it's supposed to look like. Even if it was the most purely intended, still, you are the Buddha of your life. Not even those who love you the most dearly can occupy that high seat. That high seat, dear one, belongs to you, and no one else can fill it. Neither can anyone else tell you how it's supposed to look. You can do that. Please do. Because if you do not, then the world lives in the wake of such loss. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. We have a Dharma peer, Robert Ryudo Tetsumu Aldridge Roshi. You may recognize the Ryudo. This is the same ordination name that Doan Sensei and I share. Ryudo Rinsen, Ryudo Doan. Same ordination line. And Roshi is a clinical psychologist. He is in the East Coast. And one of the things under his charge is the longest running study in human history of happiness. It's an 80-year study out of Harvard University. They began tracking people and checking in with them in very clear ways to see if they're happy or not. And this study has been running for 80 years. Very interesting. There's a Zen Roshi at the helm of that study. Kind of interesting, right? You know what they found? The single most important indicator of whether or not you will be happy in your life. What could that be? Is it wealth? Is it being lauded in massive public displays of affection? Is it having massive power over others and winning constantly? What is it? Is it competency? Turns out it's community. Turns out it's actual friendship. Friends. Real friends. And in today's world, it's increasingly difficult to find that, is it not? Strangely, we are awash in information and seem to be under the sway of a strange new brand of ignorance that's astonishing to me. And in the same way, we have more potential connectivity with the world than humanity has ever seen, and yet, a far more isolated populace. Strange. Tragic, perhaps. What's the antidote? Somehow, to take up friendship as a spiritual practice. And this is a lot of what we talked about yesterday. Actually practicing friendship. Now, there's a lot of folks that making friends comes quite easily. It's like, falling out of bed in the morning, your feet hit the deck, they make a friend. There are people like that. There are a few like that. Many people, however, this is a painfully difficult topic. Will anyone be my friend? Oh, I didn't think so. It's spooky, right? It's very spooky. And part of the reason why it's spooky, I would say, is that our species has evolved with a very strong belonger instinct. If you get rejected from the kinship or the clan or the tribe or the what have you, your life is ended. You cannot survive outside of the village, the band of traveling hunters, you understand? So all of our ancestors that survived enough to procreate, they were at least good enough to make some friends. Okay, and so that's kind of in our system. Your DNA kind of wires this way. And so it's fraught with peril, and you can easily be taken advantage of because of that. Someone dangles community in front of you and has a huge price that's either obvious or covert. Be very careful. However, there are healthy ways to connect. And I would say Sangha is probably the best example I can think of. I'm sure there are others. I know there are. We have no exclusive contract on friendship. But I think the Sangha is a pretty damn good place. Because everybody that's in the Sangha is resonant with the Buddha Dharma. And that says something. That says something really important about which way that person's internal compass is at least trying to point. And that matters. Many of our fellow Homo sapiens bond around common enemies. Is it not? Right? And it's just so horrible. You can see the toxicity of this. Our society is drenched in it. The only thing worth saying is how stupid the other people are. Like, that's it. Substance is irrelevant. This is not acceptable. True friendship is not based on common enemy, obviously, but it is based on wisdom. So what is this wisdom that the Buddha is pointing to and speaking of? Strictly speaking, in Buddhism, when we hear the word wisdom, it means Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. So that should be clear. So no need for me to say anything more. But all that means really is just realizing nirvana with great satori. So there. So you need further, right? But it has to do not with not just being cunning in the world and being able to make stuff happen that you want. It's not like that. It's actually seeing into your true nature, seeing into the nature of yourself, seeing into the nature of the cosmos itself, which, by the way, is no different. It's the same. That's why it's so incredibly liberating and healing. You realize at once that you always have been at home. The entire galaxy is exactly so. And you, dear one, are no different. But when you think you are and you expect things to be other than they are, then you suffer like crazy. Because the algorithm is out of sync with reality, huh? Now, bear in mind that capitalist society has no interest in you being happy. That is not a value, okay? The value is in you being a consumer. That's what's important. So just be mindful, all right? Companies and societies, I'm not going to say they're evil or horrible, but they have an agenda. Even great companies have an agenda. Be careful. What is true wisdom? Some of you may know that Ryuka, Dawn and I's daughter, was homeschooled for a time. In fact, from the 2nd grade to the 5th grade, for a number of reasons. And one of the things that we used to do, I'm curious if you remember or not, but we had this big trampoline out back on the farm, and we would bounce until we couldn't bounce anymore, and then we would study together. And there's a thing called a commonplace book, where you write down things of relevance. And of course, Ryuka's commonplace book was filled with the Dhammapada. So as I was looking at my book today, I actually pulled up this. This is her, I'm sorry to embarrass you, but this is her handwriting from when, I don't know, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, whatever, trying to figure out how to spell with what else? Verses from the Buddha. Something seems to have worked. Listen to the verse that she wrote down. You too shall pass away. Knowing this, how can you quarrel? You too shall pass away. Knowing this, how can you quarrel? How easily the wind overturns a frail tree. Seeking happiness in the senses, merely indulging in food and sleep, you will be uprooted too. How's that for a homeschool lesson? And again, be careful, all right? The society is trying to sell you indulging in things, consuming in things. And I indulge in some stuff. I consume some stuff. I get it. Enjoy your life, please. It's not. I'm not all doom and gloom about it. But just don't be hooked. True happiness, you cannot buy it, right? But if you really, really understand the impermanence of things, how all things change, and live in accordance with that, not in terror of it, actually be free inside the impermanence, then you're free. Then you can meet the moments as they actually show up. rather than continually willing them to be something that they're not and being depressed when they don't match your hopes. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise, those who understand the true nature of things, of coming and going, and that embrace it fully. How long the road to one who travels with a fool for company? My dad used to tell me, you know, son, if you're dating somebody and you want to see if they're a right fit for you, drive them down to Kentucky and back. If y'all can still talk by the time you get back, that's a good indicator. Wise counsel from old Otto. So we've driven many, many miles together, and it's a delightful thing. How long the road to one who travels with a fool for company. And this is perhaps a final point. It is unwelcome and unpleasant, but there actually are times when you need to let people go. It sucks. It's very disorienting when that's happening to you, especially if you don't see it coming, or if you lived in a false facade harmony in a situation for a while and you start to wake up and go, wait a minute, I don't think this is really me. And then that friction starts to come in and they try to pound you back down. You know what I'm talking about? Don't put up with that. Really. If somebody's actually doing this to you, they don't deserve your company. Wish them well. Intend for them to have a beautiful and full life. And please put up some boundaries and honor them. Honor yourself. Because time is moving quickly. Believe it or not, there's a lot of young people in the room, and you may not know this, but you can easily spend a decade doing the wrong stuff. Can anybody who's been around long enough who understand what I'm saying put a hand up? Don't be that guy. Okay? Take yourself seriously. Take yourself joyfully. Trust yourself. And find out what this wisdom thing is all about. It really makes a difference. May it be so.
We'll conclude with the Bodhisattva vows. We will do the sung version found on page 8 of your liturgy book. I vow to wake all the beings of the world. Yes, I do. I vow to set endless heartache to rest. Yee-hoo! I vow to sunder every wisdom gate. I vow to live a great Buddha way. I vow to wake all the beings of the world. Yes, I do. I vow to set endless heartache to rest. I vow to walk through every wisdom gate. I vow to live a great Buddha way. One more time, I vow to wake all the beings of the world. Yes, I do. I vow to set endless heartache to rest. I vow to walk through every wisdom gate. I vow to live a great Buddha way.
for your practice, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our service for this afternoon. Time for announcements.
Hello, I'm Reverend Weesey. Just a couple announcements. There are always many, many opportunities to put the talk into practice, and I'm not going to talk about all the ones coming up for the next few weeks. There's a schedule of events on the table by the front door. Take one with you, look at it, see what works for you. I'm just going to talk about what's happening today. At 2 o'clock, we're offering a Zendo Foundations and Liturgy Basics class. All members and visitors are welcome. It's the 102 to Zen Meditation for Beginners 101, and you're welcome to stay through lunch that we're having and then come for that class 2 to 4. There's another event also today that some of us are participating in. Would you like to talk about that one? At 3 o'clock? Is it at 3? I don't know. At 3 now.
At 3 o'clock at the Sanger Branch Library, the Multi-Faith Council is hosting a Winter Holy Days fair, and the Buddhist Temple of Toledo will be represented. We will be Bodhi Daying one more time. So everyone's welcome. The Baha'i faith will be there, and some Christians doing, what is the Epiphany? So if you want to learn about these other holidays, you're welcome.
So your choice, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock here, or if you already have your Zendo Foundations down, 3 o'clock over there. And then last thing I'll say, next weekend, we have a sewing workshop for machine sewing skills for members who are interested. And that's on Saturday. And then on Sunday morning, we have our Jukai information session. We are forming our cohort for taking the precepts this year. There's a flyer also on the front if you want to see that. That's 9 a.m. a week from today. We hope to see you there. And that's my last announcement. But not the last announcement.
Not the last one, sorry. I'm Aka. Teen Dharma met last night, and we have decided on our first service project, which, if you want to participate, we could use your help. For April, Earth Day in April, we will be using old t-shirts to sew reusable grocery bags. So if you have any used old t-shirts, that have pit stains or whatever, we're going to cut all that off, so don't worry about that. But, donate those, and we will be sewing them in April, so we have a few months of collection. So I just wanted to kick that off for those teens that will be doing that. And we'll be giving them back to you all and donating them back to our Sangha members to have. So we're going to do the work, and you'll get the benefit. So thank you.
Awesome. I'm Kyon, one of the Dharma School teachers here today, so thanks everybody who participated. There's no Dharma School next week, and there is Dharma School the following week on the 26th, and May will be here teaching. Kinjo's going to assist, and we need one more assistant, so I don't know if Christy or Lisa are available, or maybe Sierra. I don't think Sierra's here today, but anyway, thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you. You heard it already, but not on. You heard it already, but there is food available this afternoon. The dinner gong will be ringing probably shortly. And I was also asked to let people know that in addition to the tables and couches in the front room, there are tables and chairs set up back in the Tara Hall at the end of the hallway if you want a slightly quieter, less frenetic place to consume your lunch. That's an option also. Thank you again, everyone. Please just